then all of a sudden you're trying to celebrate
Here
when
we
you
go.
called
See,
that they were going to lose.
Hey, can you introduce the show?
Here we go.
I told you he's going to be on tilt all week.
I mean, does honesty matter, or do we not care? We just make stuff up every day.
What show is this?
I don't even know.
Exactly.
Live from New York, it's the show that's completely on tilt. It's first things first. Today, if you're just tuning in, the guy picked the Denver Nuggets to win Game 2.
And to win the championship a few weeks ago.
Don't be a sore sport.
That doesn't matter. Exactly.
Who did I pick to win the series?
Exactly.
The Wolves. Excuse me, your Wolves.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is the series over? Gee whiz.
Does this answer your question?
Well, not really, to be 100% honest.
I hate to do this to you, Wildes and Nick. I have implored you for maybe a year now to let the Tiger out.
Yeah.
What
right?
Tiger is there?
Well,
And finally,
2-0.
because usually when we make predictions, you just say something silly, like the Rockets. The Rockets and the Magic in the final. You know,
I never
everybody
said that.
laughs.
They can make the playoffs.
It's wild. Look at Wildes. He's a
Magic made
national
the playoffs.
treasure. He's cute and all that,
is
right?
right.
And this year, after me saying, let the Tiger out, Wildes, let the Tiger out, you made a real prediction. Nuggets, no one is beating them in 7, right? You got on the rooftop and you screamed it at the top of your lungs. You had bass in your voice. You put 10 toes down. Chest was out.
Yeah.
And here we are. So, I do have to do it. I hate to, but I do.
What is it?
What did Bruised Wolves do to Wildes' Nuggets? They went into your house.
Oh, no.
They threw up their feet on your coffee table.
Yeah, ate a sandwich.
They told you, get me a robe. In fact, get me a robe in T-Wolves colors.
Oh.
Yeah.
And of course, yep, that's right, you guessed it.
Oh, wait.
Get me a sandwich.
I can't believe this is ever
And some chips.
Just
and a soda pop.
okay.
That's what they did. That's exactly what they did to your boys.
What they did. That it
is absolutely over.
Okay.
You might get a game, maybe 2, maybe. I
Maybe
doubt
2.
that.
Well, hold on a second.
You might
maybe
get 2. But this series is over. Nick, quickly, a little real analysis.
Okay. Oh, well, then
That
you might
was
have
real.
to take your shoes down and sunglasses off.
The T-Wolves, maybe I'll leave the defense to you.
Yeah.
But they have 2 number 1 scoring options.
2 number 1 draft picks.
Right.
2 number 1 overall picks.
We know Anthony Edwards is a number 1 scoring option.
Yeah.
Cat, Nick, career, 23, 11 on 52% shooting, 40% from 3. Cat has the game of a number 1 option, but not the demeanor, the intangible, the dog. Kind of like Anthony Davis. Davis has the game. Davis better defensively. Cat better offensively.
Yeah.
So they got 2 number 1 options, and that's all I'll say about the defense because I'm sure you want to get to it.
No.
The Nuggets, Wildes, looked last night like a bunch of suburban kids playing against a team from the hood for the first time. It was like, what the? I mean, they were swarming them. They looked like, what in the world is going on?
Looked like the game was being played at 2 speeds.
Yes, and that was it. So, Wildes, I'm sorry. I'm glad you let the Tiger out, but I'm going to eat my sandwich.
You eat your sandwich, and Wildes, do you think the series is over?
No. I mean, it certainly shook my confidence a bit because no one's listening to me.
Oh.
I'm not saying I'm a basketball savant, but Josh and I have been grinding the all 10.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take Red Auerbach of the film room to figure out, don't go down double digits every single playoff game. They're like, oh, we should start playing. Yeah, I said that yesterday. And what happened? Down 6 at the end of the first quarter. Then they opened up. Hey, should we switch anything? We're getting out hustled. We're getting outworked. We're getting out schemed. Nas Reed is out here looking like Wilt Chamberlain, and Joker can't do anything. Hold on. Here's the Nuggets in the first half. Wake up! Wake up and play basketball. What are we doing in the playoffs last year? Oh, surprise, surprise. Up 5 and shooting almost 50%. Regular season up 3. Little dip, but sure, why not? Shooting almost 50%. In the playoffs, down almost 9 points at half. This game was over. There's an element of it's not the periphery. It's Joker. Just run the normal stuff.
Well,
run a high pick and roll, and if you're not getting doubled, pull the old Chris Broussard, back down, back down, back down. Uh-oh, help, kick it out, hit a three.
So,
that's what won you the championship.
Well,
we're doing all sorts of crazy stuff.
So listen, there's also this possibility. They're not as good as you thought they were.
Well, they're gassed.
Well, from what?
Gassed?
The
It's
altitude.
second round.
No.
They have to live there.
Okay,
Not just visiting.
I mean, so for the record, I don't think the series is 100% over.
No.
I think the Nuggets are in dire straits, but I don't think it is 100% over. I know Wildes brought up the fact that only five teams have come back from losing the first two at home, but it's only happened 29 times. So that means about 1 in 6 come back from it. And a lot of the guys that we talk about, Joker, just pick two of the greatest foreign-born players ever, Dirk and Dream, they both did it. We're down 0-2, lost best two at home and came back. So I don't think it's impossible, but I think that was a masterclass for Minnesota last night. And to do that without Rudy Gobert on the road when it is the biggest game Denver has played
must win
in years.
Yes.
Because they never were. You could say Game 3 of the
weren't
finals
on the
last
road.
year, but I think they were pretty convinced.
Still felt confident.
We're we're in
And they were
control
just
here.
much more
I
talented.
guess maybe Game 5 against the Suns last year, round 2, but it's on the level of maybe the biggest game. And I have to tell you, they looked like some front runners. Their coach acted like a front runner. Their second best player certainly acted like a front runner. And Joker wasn't Joker.
No.
It was, and in my opinion, and we'll get to Joker later, third straight game that he has not looked like himself. And a lot of the reasons that I thought this team was beatable. Now, obviously, I was wrong about the Lakers, but I did not think they were this unassailable juggernaut. I thought they were the favorites. I thought they were the best team. Showed up. They don't have a bench. They do miss Bruce Brown. The idea that Michael Porter Jr. is going to shoot 55% from three every game is not going to happen. Yeah. The idea that every postseason Jamal Murray is going to transform into Kobe Bryant is not going to happen. I mean, and Minnesota, on the other hand, Brew,
get 8 points. I don't need prime Kobe.
No, that's
Can I get 10?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
14?
But I'm going to say one other thing that I think actually did happen. And it's so funny how sports work. Because listen, they lost by, it felt like 30. So
they were down.
But they were down 30. But I feel like it could have all gone differently if Karl Anthony Towns didn't get called for that first foul. I know. So just follow me here. Okay. They knew that without Gobert, the Timberwolves had to keep Karl Anthony Towns on the court. The refs called that first foul on Karl Anthony Towns a minute into the game. And it felt to me like the next 15 Nuggets possessions were not running their stuff, not doing what they had planned for, and was instead trying to get the second foul on Big Cat. And then the refs stopped calling anything. They were letting them play. It led to frustration, and all of a sudden snowballs rolling downhill. And so I think that's one of the reasons that they didn't do the high pick and roll. They didn't do the regular Nugget stuff, is they were instead like, hey, you're already missing Rudy. Now we're trying to make you miss Karl. And it threw them off, and then they unraveled. They totally unraveled.
Can I give you one more highlight before we move on to Jamal Murray?
Yeah.
This is the Nuggets defense on Anthony Edwards, this turnaround shot. I mean, this dude is playing out of his mind. Like, it's just buckets, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
well, like I said, they have a guy that when all else fails, he can just beat you with his spectacular play. I mean, that's good defense.
Yes.
That's double team right there, too, and he just hits a great shot.
All right. Meanwhile, Jamal Murray's stat line, 8 points, 4 turnovers. Okay. Suspension worthy?
It's a tough week for sensitive Canadians. Man, oh man, it's one of the worst of all time. Listen, I think throwing two things makes it a suspension because you lose. Now, I don't know that they'll do it. I know if this were the regular season, they would do it, and I'm typically okay with kind of different rules for regular season and playoffs. But this was not heat of the moment, man. This was a building meltdown.
Yeah.
It started from
Meltdown.
him
Exactly right.
whining to Reggie, then literally whining to his dad, then doing the money sign to the refs, which cost Gobert $100,000 when he did it, then going to the bench and throwing a towel, and not then realizing, oh, I'm pretty lucky that didn't actually make it to the court. Instead being like, didn't have enough weight to it to make it to the court. Give me something heftier. And when people say it's dangerous, I want to be clear here. It's not dangerous because they think you're going to hurt someone with the heating pad hitting them. Like, that would just be annoying. It's dangerous because it lands at guys' feet. They don't see it, and they can step on it.
Yeah.
And so I have seen guys suspended from playoff games for what I consider to be less egregious and less dangerous. And so if he doesn't get suspended, as a basketball fan, I'll kind of be happy because you'd like to see how it goes.
Yeah.
But he deserves it. He deserves a suspension for that.
I hate to have games or series decided because a player's not available, whether it's injury, which usually we see, or something like this, suspension. So I'm with you, Nick. There's a large part of me that's like, man, I kind of just want him to be able to play.
Sure.
But he must be suspended.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Must. This is egregious. I don't even care that it was two things. Throwing out a heat pad, as you said it, two guys almost did step on it. You could step on that thing and turn an ankle or mess up your knee or pull a groin or something.
Yes.
It might have even been wet. Like, those things are oftentimes wet. And so somebody could slide on it. Like, imagine if a cat stepped on it and now he's out for the rest of the series because of an ankle injury or something. Like, that is no less ridiculous than if a player were to just run onto the court. He's sitting on the bench, run onto the court and start playing as the sixth guy. Seriously. Like, how they don't have a rule for this is the penalty for if you throw something onto the court, because it's just common sense. You don't do it.
Yeah.
It's like he lost his mind. And I love Jamal Murray. It's like he lost his mind and he is frustrated. He's shooting 28% in the series, 20% from three. They got him locked up and he doesn't know what to do.
So that's exactly how I feel. I felt like I got catfished with the real Jamal Murray and whoever's been here for the last two games. Jamal Murray's whole reputation is get better in the big moments.
Yep.
He just hit 2 game winners, not buzzer beaters, but 2 game winners in the last series. Now you come out, he's complaining to the refs like it's a high school game, yelling at the refs. Now you're throwing stuff. You can't. Your calf must be bothering you so much. Career low on 15+ attempts, regular season or playoffs, shooting 17% yesterday. So,
how much do you put on Michael Malone? Because to me, when Michael Malone loses his mind the way he did, it instead of the moment of guys, stop complaining about the refs.
Everybody did.
And right,
KCP did.
But so you think it gives your players?
I just feel like it gives you. Yeah, I do. I feel like that. I don't know what the comparison is, but if you're at a baseball game with your kids and you're the parent and you start heckling and cursing at a player, the kids are more likely than be like, oh, that's okay. I know that's not a great analogy.
No,
but I feel like Michael Malone made it clear he thought the refs were screwing them. And then instead of the players, because here's the other part of it. I didn't think it was an unfairly officiated game. I thought they were allowing a lot of contact, and that does benefit Minnesota, but it's not like they were calling it tight on one end and loose on the other. The refs were just like, hey, man, prison rules today.
I think Michael Malone, I don't put it on him, but I think he was trying to get ejected. I really do. I think because he has said before the series, these starts are ridiculous. Like we talked about it yesterday, I believe. Yep. Like, we got to get out to better starts. So I think it was like, here we go again. Let me try to light a fire under these guys. We've seen coaches do it before.
Absolutely.
The way you rarely see a coach in basketball. This baseball, okay. And they usually get ejected too. Yeah. But run up and get in the guy's face almost nose to nose and start yelling at him. I think he was like, all right, I'm going to get out of here and see if that ignites something in our guys.
It didn't.
No. Yes, of course I'm surprised Joker's struggling. And I want to know, What I want across the board, Wildes, what do they call me?
Mr. Consistency.
And I wish more people were.
Oh. Well, then that would hurt your brand.
Yeah, but you know what? But the world would be a more just place. Does the 3-time MVP get held to the same standards as the 3 old guys in the league? Because I know when Draymond loses his mind, there's a conversation, fair or not, how much of that's on Steph? Would anyone today be like, how much of the team meltdown is on Joker? Of course not. That's unfair. When the Suns get beat by this team, what is this, Kevin Durant? Where's he going? What's going to happen? Is that going to happen for the guy who right now is at the apex of the mountain? When LeBron James loses the previous round and misses a couple box outs, we say, okay, I know they fired the coach, but was it really because LeBron wasn't hustling enough? When Joker hasn't played 5 minutes of defense this playoffs. Anthony Davis didn't have his career best offensive output on nobody. And yesterday, yes, Anthony Edwards had an amazing turnaround. He also had a few just free run layups because Joker's just swiping the ball and backing up. He is a great player. He is arguably the greatest player in the game today. But heavy is the head that wears the crown for everyone who's ever worn it. And if you are the prohibitive favorite in a must-win game in your building with the other team's guy who guards you out and you know showing your team melts down, is there any other superstar in league history that wouldn't have been the lead?
League history?
Well, it's in modern media league history. I'm talking about best player in the league. You know what? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's bizarre to me. He gets all the flowers of the best, and none of the fair or not it's shrapnel that comes with it. And it just feels like it's a double standard.
Well, I'll say this, and I'll address the things you said. First, I am surprised. Like, this is the biggest surprise to me thus far in this series, is that how under wraps Jokic has been. Now, this graphic will show you career, he's still giving you 24, 12, and 8, all right? But as far as the efficiency, career worst, he's played 14 playoff series, worst field goal, worst three-point, most turnovers ever in a series per game. Yeah. This is the first time I've ever seen Jokic play, these 2 games, where it looked like, oh, his lack of athleticism is a hindrance. Like, his lack of lift as far as jumping, his lack of speed is a hindrance. Yeah. I've never seen Jokic look like he's been outplayed. Embiid, put 40 on him last year and all that. But this is the first time it looked like, oh, wow, like they're really making him look like he's not as athletic.
The conference finals in the bubble, when the Lakers had 3 bigs. And that was another time. And Dwight Howard, a little resurgence. That was a time where, and now he wasn't quite the player he is now, but he was an MVP caliber guy, still finishing top 3 MVP. That was a moment where it seemed like, oh, his lack of athleticism hurts him.
Now, as far as what you were saying, Nick, look, I don't think he's getting a pass. It's only 2 games. I think he will be treated like Giannis. When Giannis won the championship and then, the next few years they haven't won it, I think that's how he'll be viewed. We've seen great players have this type of thing happen to them.
Yes.
We saw LeBron against Dallas, We saw Magic in 1984, Tragic
Johnson. Those guys got killed.
But do you think...
Well, first of all, they're not done with the series, and he's still averaging. Like, what people are looking at is, and I said this before the series, and I think you guys agree with me, without Jamal Murray, I don't care how good Jokic is, they're not winning the West.
I wrote that.
And Jamal Murray's doing nothing.
I know.
So I get it, Jokic is not dominating by any stretch, but when you look at the second guy playing so badly.
Yeah.
And I also think this, and you mentioned several guys. LeBron is held to a higher, he shouldn't be at 39, but LeBron was in the freaking GOAT discussion in high school.
Sure.
In terms of, we expect him to challenge Michael Jordan. Jokic, as good as he is, we're never looking at him like that.
That's fine. But
he's going to be treated a little different.
But I watched Luka's defense when they were making the conference finals be a huge subject of conversation.
His defense had,
this postseason is even.
But he's not. But if you look at the analytics numbers, they're not as bad. I mean, Anthony, he's not a great, like, natural athletic defender. He's a smart defender. He can use his size a little bit. But nobody expects him to, like, block a bunch of shots or be a shutdown defender.
I get that.
All right, we're going to talk about the Knicks. Will Brew be ready to give Jalen Brunson?
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.